Alright, back to the gulags, bow your heads and get on your knees, peasants, it's Ubisoft time. Now, I never really played much of Assassin's Creed. I'm not entirely sure why. A lot of the earlier entries, especially whichever one was set in the American Revolution, were pretty fucking dope. But for whatever reason, I just never got into them. However, in spite of that, I am still very aware of why they're so widely loved. Or, I guess maybe I should say were so widely loved. It's no secret that lately the series hasn't exactly been enjoying the extreme success and fanbase approval that it used to. So, in what looks like a rather blatant attempt to reverse that trend, the obscenity machine powered by melted poor people, Ubisoft, announced yesterday Assassin's Creed Mirage. This being the morally repellent gaming industry we're talking about, naturally the game is already mired in at least 2 controversies. But let's mention the good stuff first. Yes, I was shocked too, but there is good stuff. First, as of right now, it's being listed as only $50.
That's good.
I have a feeling that's more likely due to the amount of microtransactions they've managed to stuff into it this time than Ubisoft's boundless altruism, but we'll see. It's also cross-gen with a free upgrade from PS4 to PS5 and Xbox One to Xbox Series. That kind of thing should be bare minimum in my opinion, but sure, I'm feeling generous today, so yeah, we can call that good too.
That's good.
And lastly, it certainly appears that the focus this time is less on 150-hour unnecessarily cluttered and monetized pseudo-RPG trend chasing and more on what, in most fans' opinion, made Assassin's Creed great in the first place: intricate stealth gameplay and, assassins. Oops, and just like that, we've already run into a little trouble.
This isn't good.
Yep, unfortunately for poor old Ubisoft, the reaction to this change in direction for the series has not quite been all nip slips and double rainbows. After all, what does it say about a franchise and its developers that they need to go all the way back to 2007 to find inspiration and design direction? To me, that says, send help, we've ruined it. But, I am fair though, and returning to the wisdom of the past doesn't necessarily mean that your entire dev team is creatively bankrupt. Though in the case of Ubisoft, I'd be more inclined to believe it actually does, considering what usually qualifies as creative for them. However, if we're to err on the side of optimism, it seems most Assassin's Creed fans absolutely are here for a good return to roots success story, and I agree. The series was fantastic once, and while I was never one of its hardcore dedicated fans, I do hope for their sake that it can be again. How likely that is though, and whether this is the result of Ubisoft listening to fans or its profit margins, well, I'll leave that for you to decide. That is not all though. We've also got the super fun drama of the 18+ adults only rating, supposedly due to quote real gambling that Assassin's Creed Mirage has been labeled with on a bunch of digital storefronts. The general consensus seems to be split between whether this is in fact real or the result of some type of oversight or error. Though more than a few articles have already popped up saying that places like the Xbox store listing imply that it is indeed legitimate and not a mistake or some sort of deranged bad joke. In addition, it seems there's also no mention of it being either temporary or a provisional rating either, at least according to this article here from The Gamer. Though recent uploads of the trailer to places like Instagram are tagged with a rating pending instead of adults only, so I guess we'll see. In the event it's accurate and there actually is real gambling in this game, I think we can all probably agree that would be one of the least surprising things ever. After all, look at what GTA Online devolved into. I think it's safe to say though that this is more than likely some type of fuck up, as if it remains adult only, Ubisoft won't be able to sell it on most major platforms, and we all know they can't have that. But like all other AAA publishers, Ubisoft got Ubisoft, so naturally, even at this early point, they've graciously decided to allow fans the privilege of handing over their hard-earned money for a game that no one's even seen any gameplay footage of yet. Yeah, how typical. I mean, sure, the trailer is undeniably pretty cool looking, but come the fuck on. Are we really still doing this? I mean, what am I saying? Of course we are. Alright, my G's. I think we can end it here. That's all for today. Weekends always suck for content, so I hope this helps ease the Sunday content drought for y'all, and we'll be back to chop it up with you once again next week. We love you today, and we love you all the way.
Woke up, smoke up, blunt, then I pass out. Pass out. Woke up, what up, smoke up, blunt, then I'm back down. Back down. What? Yup, woke up, smoke up, blunt, then I pass out. Pass out. Woke up, what up, smoke up, blunt.